score 87-81 is your final. Clark did lead all scorers with 25 points, despite, again, struggling from long range in this one. But the Sun and all that veteran experience moving on and putting an end to the rookie season of Caitlin Clark. CBS WNBA analyst Erica Ayala joining us with her thoughts. Erica, this was the good stuff. Playoff hoop, everybody going at it. A double-digit lead disappears. It really had everything you could ask for out of a game. You walk away from game 2 here feeling what?
I think that we're seeing exactly what the level of the WNBA is. There were so many questions about how Caitlin Clark would come in as a rookie. And we saw from her very first game against this Connecticut team to her very last game in her rookie campaign, once again against Connecticut, the growth and how that growth helped create more opportunities for then a healthy Kelsey Mitchell. But ultimately, it was the defense and the experience of the Connecticut Sun mixed with that trade deadline addition of Marina Mabrey to help them spread the floor and have perimeter shooting at the exact moment, opportune moments, taking advantage, coming in clutch. That's exactly what we're expecting from the rest of the WNBA playoffs.
Yeah, it looked like a complete package there from Connecticut. As you point out, Mabrey, great in those final moments of this game as well. You said something interesting there with the growth we saw from game 1 to the final game of this season in Caitlin Clark. The great ones, as we know, the offseason is where they truly grow, where they add to that game. Where do you see the space for the greatest growth for Clark after some much-deserved rest after what's been a whirlwind of a year?
Well, I think you just mentioned it. The rest is going to be key. Now that Caitlin Clark has a feel for the WNBA and WNBA playoff basketball, getting some rest after putting Iowa on her back for the last handful of seasons, after really helping this Indiana Fever team surge, now Caitlin Clark is going to continue to refine her recovery process. And this is already a deceptively strong and a very quick basketball player with high IQ. With some rest, it sounds like she might not play, at least in an organized league, either overseas or in the United States. So she will likely be working with coaches and other trainers to help just refine her body, strengthen her frame, and get her motions and movements that even quicker than she already is. And that's going to be dangerous.
You see it right there this season, this rookie campaign, historic in more ways than one. As you try and digest what we just saw, not just in this latest sample size from Clark, but over the entirety of the season, how do you think you'll file it away in your mental Rolodex what this rookie year was for Caitlin Clark?
It truly is a fantastic year. Again, leaning into how smart and how well Caitlin Clark can adapt. I think we definitely saw that because there were lumps, like many rookies have early on. But being in company with players like Cynthia Cooper, passing Tisha Penichero for most assists and assists per game in a WNBA season, and being within the top 10 of points per game among players like Simone Augustus, Maya Moore. You know, these are icons, players that young people, including Caitlin Clark, watched growing up, that helped evolve and refine the game to a point where, with Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and the rest of the rookie class, now we're seeing the league and the women's basketball game at the pro level in the United States truly take off.
Yeah, we certainly are, and April cannot come soon enough to get Caitlin Clark back on a court, but to the victor goes the topic, and that's what Connecticut does. They won this series in a 2-game sweep. They move forward and now await a dance partner that we will get an answer to in just a few hours as well, Erica. This is a Connecticut team that, as we said, is constructed to win. Is there a limiting factor in your eyes when you put them against some of the biggest names in this sport?
You know, this is a Connecticut team that has gotten to the semifinals for those 6 consecutive seasons because of their consistency defensively. If you wanted to place an Achilles heel on this Connecticut team, it has been that while they can keep teams usually in the low 70s, that's usually what they're averaging even throughout the postseason, they're not always able to score more than 80 points. And when you get to the playoffs, when you're trying to make and then win a finals, as much as I, to my core, love defense in every sport, especially basketball, you absolutely have to have players that can make clutch baskets after you make clutch stops defensively. And that's why I wanted to point out Marina Mabrey earlier today. Now, she is someone who definitely can come up clutch. Her experience as far as in the playoffs and in championship scenarios at the WNBA level, not as much as some of these other Connecticut players, but it will be interesting to see if what Mabrey brings in her toolkit, so to speak, in her toolbox, is exactly what will get Connecticut to where they want to be come the end of the season.
She was a difference in this one. We'll see if she's the difference maker moving forward. Erica Ayala, it's a fun rookie season for Caitlin Clark, but we move forward with the Connecticut Sun. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, here's a look at that season where she ranked among the rookies, and you don't have to look far on those lists because she's at the top of all of them. Points, three-pointers, assists, historic there as well, and steals. Caitlin Clark has arrived. We've been so fortunate to watch this rookie season, but it comes to an end here on Wednesday.
Thank you so much. All right, listen, how about tonight? Let's get ready. Game 2, Sun Fever, less than an hour away right here on ESPN. Game 1, Aaliyah Boston joining Hall of Famer Tamika Catchings as the only Fever players with double-doubles in their playoff debut. She finished with 17 points and 11 boards. They're going to need a lot from Aaliyah tonight to keep the season alive, and a lot from this young lady, Caitlin Clark. 4 of 17 from the field in Game 1, but she's been dominant in bounce-back games this season. That's critical, averaging 27 points, 6 boards, 6 dimes in games following a 25% or worse shooting percentage. She scored 30 points in 2 of those 3 games, made an average of more than 4.5 threes. Here's Clark moments ago on tonight's game. It's new on SportsCenter.
It's definitely do or die time. I think you feel it a little more. Obviously, Game 1, you know, no matter which way it goes, you're going to have to play them again. But being here, you know, we have to win to extend our season and to get it back home. And I think that as a competitor, like, you hate sitting around a couple days. Like, you want to get to this game and you're really fired up for it. So I think that's the way our team's approaching it. And, you know, we know it's a great opportunity, but we also know it's a great challenge for us, but not anything you shy away from.
She got her game face on. Basketball analyst Andrea Carter has her game outfit on. Woo, you're popping.
Ready.
You are ready to go here? I love it.
It's a big day.
It looks fantastic.
Thanks.
Is this going to be a big day for Caitlin Clark? What does she have to do tonight here?
Well, it certainly should be. You showed that graphic about when Caitlin shoots 25% or worse, her response, right? And we've always seen excellent responses from Caitlin Clark. You know what else we've seen? Caitlin in big moments. Caitlin when it is win or go home. Just think back to some of her big-time NCAA performances. Think back to when a record was on the line. What did she do? She smashed through it. Caitlin knows how to meet the moment. And another thing that she knows is she has a very high basketball IQ. She knows how to watch film. She knows how to learn from a previous matchup with a team. So I do expect a big response from Caitlin Clark in Indiana.
The Sun held the Fever to 69 points in Game 1, Indiana's fewest since July 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Caitlin Clark responding, a 30-point game would be phenomenal. They might need a 30-piece from Kelsey Mitchell, another double-double from Aaliyah Boston, because this is a loaded Connecticut Sun team. We're watching good Connecticut Sun right here because what do they have? Alyssa Thomas, who leads the league in playoff triple-doubles. Marina Mabrey can get you a 20-piece off the bench. Dejanay Carrington, shout out to Dejanay, just won Most Improved Player of the Year. Congratulations. The Connecticut Sun have so many weapons. So for the Fever, they're going to need a big game from Clark, big game from Mitchell, big game from Aaliyah Boston, and everyone else to step up and play.
It's nice to talk about Dejanay and congratulate her and not talk about the nails because that's not a story.
Rebecca Lobo has strong words for Caitlin Clark following the announcement from ESPN. On Wednesday, Caitlin Clark's impressive rookie season came to an end as the Connecticut Sun defeated the Indiana Fever 87-81 in Game 2 of the WNBA playoffs. The game was aired on ESPN, and less than 24 hours later, the sports network made a significant announcement regarding viewership. According to ESPN PR on X, Game 2 between the Fever and Sun became the most-watched WNBA game of all time, averaging 2.5 million viewers and peaking at 3.4 million. This record prompted ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo to share her thoughts on Clark's remarkable impact on the league. Just like in college, Caitlin Clark is a singular force when it comes to driving viewership and ticket sales, Lobo tweeted. The WNBA is finally shining in front of millions. I couldn't be more thrilled for these women. This milestone follows closely after Game 1 between the Fever and Sun became the most-watched WNBA playoff game on ESPN. Breaking such records is becoming a hallmark for both Clark and the Fever. Since her arrival in April, she has consistently shattered viewership and attendance records at every level. On the court, Clark has set multiple records, including the most assists in a season, the highest points scored by a rookie, and the most assists in a single game. Notably, she's the only rookie in league history to record a triple-double, doing it twice, no less. After a stellar 4 years with the Yukon Huskies, Lobo entered the WNBA in its inaugural season in 1997, playing 7 years primarily with the New York Liberty, where she earned All-Star honors and was named to the second All-WNBA team. Lobo was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2017, solidifying her legacy in the sport. Caitlin Clark is not just making waves, she's redefining the landscape of women's basketball. The future looks incredibly promising, and fans can't wait to see what she accomplishes next. Caitlin Clark envisions a bright future for Indiana. Although the Indiana Fever faced a swift exit from the 2024 WNBA playoffs after a 2-game series loss to the Connecticut Sun, Clark remains hopeful and energized about what lies ahead for the franchise. Reflecting on her rookie season and the progress the Fever made, Clark emphasized the positives despite the playoff disappointment. "This is just a glimpse of what this organization can achieve," she stated. "We have plenty of reasons to keep our heads held high. Just 2 years ago, this team only won 5 games. We're young and still finding our way, but we've bonded and truly enjoyed playing together." Early in the season, the Fever struggled, staggering to a record of 1-8. However, they turned things around, showcasing some of their best basketball following the All-Star break and the Olympics. Clark, increasingly acclimated to the WNBA competition, expressed pride in her team's resilience during this turnaround. "It's tough when you feel like you're playing your best basketball, and then it has to come to an end. But I'm proud of this group. They stayed resilient all year and had so much fun together," she added. With the spotlight constantly on her, Clark averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game in her debut season. There's a solid foundation to build upon in Indiana, and Clark signaled that the future is indeed bright, as long as they continue on their current trajectory and grow as a cohesive unit. Could Caitlin Clark become the all-time leading scorer in WNBA history? After an incredible rookie season, many are wondering how long it might take her to break some of the league's most coveted records. Although Clark's debut season came to an end in the first round of the 2024 WNBA playoffs when the Indiana Fever was eliminated by the Connecticut Sun, she has already set herself on a path toward a legendary career in basketball. Just months after becoming the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history, Clark shattered multiple WNBA records for rookies, including most points in a season, most assists in a season, and the single-season rookie record for three-pointers made, among others. Given this stellar start, it's not far-fetched to believe that Clark could eventually dominate career statistics like points, assists, and three-pointers. But how long would it take for her to achieve these milestones? Can Caitlin Clark break the WNBA career points record? In 2024, Clark averaged 19.2 points per game, playing in all 40 regular season games and totaling 769 points in her debut. The all-time points leader, Diana Taurasi, currently holds 10,646 points and has played 20 seasons in the league. As of now, Taurasi has not confirmed if she will return for another season or retire. If Taurasi were to retire, Clark would need 9,878 points to break the record. If she maintains her current scoring pace of 19.2 points per game and plays every game in a 40-game season, she could become the all-time leading scorer in her 14th season, which would be in 2037. Of course, staying healthy is crucial. Injuries could significantly delay her pursuit of this record. If she can boost her scoring average while remaining injury-free, she might achieve this milestone even sooner. Can Caitlin Clark break the WNBA career assists record? In 2024, Clark averaged 8.4 assists per game, totaling 337 assists, a new WNBA season record. The current career assists leader is Sue Bird, with 3,234 assists. If Clark continues at her current pace, playing all games and assuming the WNBA remains at 40 regular season games, she could become the all-time assists leader in her 10th season, which would be in 2033. However, it's worth noting that another player, Courtney Vandersloot of the New York Liberty, is also on track to break Bird's record. Vandersloot is just 385 assists away from the record and is projected to surpass it in 2026 if she continues her current performance. Can Caitlin Clark break the WNBA career three-point record? In 2024, Clark averaged 3.1 three-pointers per game, making 122 shots from beyond the arc, the highest in the WNBA for the season. The career three-point record also belongs to Taurasi, who has 1,447 three-pointers. If Taurasi retires and Clark maintains her current shooting pace, playing every game in a 40-game season, she could break this record in her 12th season, or by 2035. With her talent and determination, Caitlin Clark is on the brink of making history. The journey ahead is full of potential, and fans are eagerly watching to see just how far she can go.